Hello everyone, welcome to Learn DAX channel. My name is Desh and in this video we are going to study a couple of time intelligence functions in DAX. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I have considered these two particular functions. The first is dates in period and the second is dates between. So the thing that separates these two functions is the last argument. So in case of dates between, the first two arguments is same, which is dates and start date. So we have the dates and start date even in dates in period, whereas the last two arguments in this case are the number of intervals and the interval. So there is slightly more flexibility in case of dates in period, and in case of dates between, we have to be slightly more specific in specifying the end date to which we want to calculate the sales amount. So let's get started with first of all trying to understand how the dates in period works using this particular start date, which is 15th of May 2020. So what I want to do here is instead of directly using the dates in period function between a calculate function and to get the sales amount, I want to first create a table. I'll call it dates in period, and I want to specify all those parameters, which is the start date, the intervals, the number of intervals, etc. And just see the dates that it is filtering or the dates that is considering. And then I want to calculate the sales amount so that I can verify if what we are considering, if our interpretation of how exactly it's working is correct. So I will quickly, before I start with that, I'll quickly create a sales amount measure because we are going to use this measure a lot of times in this particular demonstration. So I'll just write some x sales quantity or sales price rather into sales quantity. So yeah, I have that handy now. So what I want to do is I have this particular syntax which says that dates in period, dates, start date, number of intervals and interval. And I want to consider this as the start date, and I just want to see how does Power BI give me the set of values if I put this value as the start date, and if I put the number of intervals as 2, which is 2 months, which is 2, and if I put it interval as month, then it should give me the dates starting from 15th of March till 2 months. So let's just see what happens. I will quickly create a new table. I will call it dates in period is equal to dates in period. It will be sales date. Our start date is going to be 15th of May, which is the date of the first sale that has happened. I'll give it 2 months and I'll give it the interval as month, and I'll quickly just drag it here. But before that, I just want to rename this column name. So because we are going to also build other tables, so it will be better if we just name it very specifically. It will lead to lesser confusion. I will also change the view so that it's not a hierarchy, but it's simply a date. Also, it will be easier to read if I change the formatting to a short date and also the font size so that the viewers can have a better experience while viewing it. So, okay, we gave this particular options or the arguments in this particular case, wherein our start date was 15th of March and we want to go ahead by 2 and we want to go ahead by 2 months. So the number of dates that it is considering for this particular scenario is from 15th of March till the 24th of May. So ideally what should happen is if we are considering these bunch of dates, then it should give me a sales amount corresponding to the sales that have happened for the period between 15th of March and 24th of May. So let's just manually calculate the sales amount, adding the sales that have happened for these particular months, and then let's create a measure which is going to use the calculate function and this dates in period formula. So let me quickly, first of all, pull this sales amount which we did earlier to save a lot of time for us. And it is from 15th of March till 24th of May. So the values are 1600 plus 1500 plus 150 plus 1000 plus 600. which is 4850. We are taking these five values. So calculator showed us 4850. Now let me quickly create a measure and call it dates in period sales amount is equal to calculate sales amount dates in period. So my uh, first argument is going to be the sale date from the sales table. My start date is going to be 15th of March 2020, 0315, and the intervals is going to be 2, and it is going to be a month. So if our calculation and interpretation of this particular function is correct, and if I drag it here, I should get 4850, which I get. So all in all, what exactly happened here is when we created this particular calculated table, we were just trying to understand which dates that Power BI is going to consider for the purpose of this calculation. We manually first calculated these dates for this selected group of dates going from 15th of May till the 24th of May. And then what we did is, in order to see if Power BI gives us the same value, we use the same sales amount measure and give it the same input as the sale date, the initial date as 15th of March. We gave it a couple of months going ahead and we get the same output. So far so good. We have verified that how dates in period works. We give it the arguments, which is the first is date column. The second argument is the start date. Then we define the interval. It can be a month, it can be year. For this case, we took a couple of months. We got the data for what dates that the dates in period function is going to consider. We manually calculated the sales that have happened for this particular period, and then we just put everything in that formula and verified that our calculations are correct and that we have correct understanding of how dates in period works. Now let's try to replicate this same thing that we did for the dates in period function in case of a dates between function. Now, like I said, I wanted to mention that we want to be very specific in case of a dates between, wherein we specify, first of all, the date column, the start date, and the end date. And when we do that, it is less flexible, but it's more specific. So let me just create another table for the sake of dates between function. So I write dates between is equal to dates between, obviously, the sales date column. So I've taken this particular case where I want to start my uh, calculation from the 19th of April and end on 24th of May. It's just something that I've chosen for the purpose of this demonstration. You can choose any of those dates. It is going to work the same way. So 2020, the fourth month, and the date is 19, and my end date is going to be 24th of May 2020. So 2020 05 24. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to just dates between. I just want to pull this column quickly on here. Just change a few settings. Change instead of the hierarchy, I just want to see the dates. Instead of seeing the time, I just want to see a short date. Besides, I also want to change the formatting so that it looks bigger and the viewers can see it better. So in this case, we define the start date and the end date. So for the purpose, for this particular case, we have these three sales that have happened. And if I am to use the dates between function to calculate the sales amount, I should essentially get the sum of these three sales that have happened. So let me quickly pull out the calculator and add these three numbers up, 1000 plus 600. I think, yeah, okay. 150 plus 1000 plus 600. So 1750 is what the cumulative sales amount for the period between the dates 19th of April 2020 and the 24th of May 2020. And if I want to calculate this thing using the dates between function, I'll just quickly create a measure here. So I will write your dates between sales amount is equal to calculate sales amount and dates between. The start the yeah first argument is the sale date column. Then the first date is going to be 2020 April of 19th, and the second date is going to be 2020 24th of May. And if our calculations and interpretation is correct, then 1750 is what we should get. So if I bring this here on the screen, yeah, we got 1750. So that's what I wanted to demonstrate from this particular video, that how does the dates in period function essentially works, what dates it considers, and how does dates between function works, and what dates it considers, and how we get to the sales amount. And this brings actually essentially us this essentially brings us to the end of this demonstration. And if you found any value from this video, I'll be very happy if you share it with your friends. And if you feel that my interpretation of this particular functions need further improvement, then please leave your feedback in the comment section. And like I say at the end of every video, that thanks for watching and happy learning. Hope to see you soon in the next video.